Again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2010 graduation ceremony for Grant Educational Center. We would like to begin our program. Please remain seated as our graduates enter and find their places on the stage. Would all of you now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and men, if you could please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome again to all of you. My name is Gloria Henry, and I am the principal at Grant Educational Center. We are gathered here tonight at the end of another successful school year. Our new logo is again hanging up on the stage this evening, and it's a phoenix rising up out of the flames. On the back of your program this evening is a short explanation of why we chose the phoenix as our logo. I would like to read a short section from this because I believe it exemplifies our program and in particular our students. Throughout history, the phoenix has been seen as a symbol of growth, rebirth, and prosperity. For the students of Grant Educational Center, this is their opportunity to rise up, start anew, and use their education to better themselves and their families. They are blazing a trail to build their lives and become prosperous members of society. As the phoenix is reborn out of its ashes and soars off into a new life, tonight's graduates are also taking wing and write their hopes and dreams on the slates of their hearts. Up on the stage this evening are 58 men and women who will be receiving either their high school diploma or GED during this ceremony. But you also need to know, guests, that there are other students who chose not to march in our ceremony tonight. All of you here this evening and also watching Channel 6 in the future need to know that an additional 42 individuals will also be receiving a GED or high school diploma at the end of this evening as well. That's a total of 100 people completing what I hope is the first stage of their education, and I think that deserves a round of applause. That's up by about 30 from last year, so that is a big jump from last year. I'd also like all of you to know that there's going to be punch and cookies for all of the graduates and guests at the end of our ceremony this evening, and these are going to be located in the hallway outside the Performing Arts Center. Before we begin this evening, I would like to introduce the individuals who will be assisting in our ceremony up on our stage this evening. Please hold your applause until we are done introducing everyone. And as I introduce you, please stand. Audience, to your right are the following school board members: Mr. Jeffrey Stout, Board President; Mrs. Rasha Damashki, Board Vice President; Mr. Jeffrey Herring, Treasurer; Mrs. Kathleen Sheets, Trustee; and Mr. Garth Krewall, Trustee. Also behind me is Mr. H. Ronald Woline, Port Huron Area School District Superintendent. We are honored this evening to have our opening comments from our new superintendent, Mr. Woline. Mr. Woline has been in our district as a teacher, as a principal here at Port Huron High School. He's also been the assistant superintendent and is now the superintendent of the Port Huron Area School District. All of us are pleased that he has taken over at the helm, and I know that he will guide us competently through the very difficult economic times in Michigan and in Port Huron in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. H. Ronald Woline.
Thank you. As I look out in that audience, I've had many of you as students, and it's always great because when you stay in one place your entire life, you get to meet all of you. And it doesn't matter how many times I can see students marching in and graduating and completing what they started out for. It's amazing to me, and it always grabs my heartstrings. So let's give these graduates another round of applause. On behalf of the Board of Education and the Port Huron Area School District, we are very proud of each and every one of these graduates tonight. And I've had the honor and privilege to speak at Port Huron Northern and Port Huron High School to the graduates as the new superintendent. And I am very honored and proud be able to talk about these students tonight. Again, I'd like to just thank all of you for supporting these students because they started something that they finished, which is one of the things that we need to do. And education, it's education. As I have talked to the graduates this year, you've moved to the next level by accomplishing one of the many goals in your life. You are graduating with a diploma, receiving a GED tonight. And again, give these graduates another round of applause. There's not one of us out there, including these graduates, we've all had our emotional ups and downs during your career in high school or your career here. But the one thing that these students did, they stayed the course. They finished. And keep in mind, no one is more important than anyone else. But the essence of education is to find what you want to do and go after it with all your heart, compassion, and intellect, and the drive you have as an individual. And these are what these graduates are exhibiting to us tonight. I truly admire the determination and the commitment for these students getting their education, because the road they have been traveling has not been easy. But the graduates, on completing this, these graduates, on completing the phase of their education, it's one step closer to their particular goal. As we go through some of the worst financial times this state, country, and state has experienced, there's going to be a great deal of responsibility put on the shoulders of these leaders. I said this to the other graduates, and I say this to you as graduates. Great leaders commit to excellence. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. Great leaders reinforce core values. Things that matter most must be at the mercy of things that matter least. Great leaders develop a service attitude. Service is the lifeblood of any organization. Everything flows from it and is nourished by it. Great leaders aim for the heart because they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Great leaders always remember to think about the people who help them get there. So graduates, good luck, and whatever you choose to do, make it meaningful. Be compassionate and impact people in a very positive way, and always remember to be happy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Woleen. The next part of our ceremony is one of the most exciting parts, and I can guarantee that most of you may need a Kleenex before we're done. Tonight we have 4 speakers, and all of them are graduating this evening. To begin tonight's speeches, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Cheryl Carlisle. Cheryl Carlisle is the proud mother of 1 daughter, come on up, and 2 sons. She has been happily married for 1 year and also has 2 grandchildren. As a child, she moved around quite a bit before her family settled in Port Huron. Cheryl is currently 45 years old. When she was 18, she became pregnant with her first child, Robert. While raising Robert on her own, she went through a lot of different jobs. Finally, one day, a voice inside her clicked and said, "Why are you working jobs you don't like?" She decided to go back to school in 2009. She attended St. Clair County Community College Adult Learning Lab and then transferred to Grant Educational Center and began taking classes to receive her GED. This evening, she will indeed get her GED. Cheryl is now attending St. Clair County Community College to pursue a career as a licensed practical nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Cheryl Carlisle.
Good evening, teachers and family and friends. and the graduating class of 2010. In 1982, I was 18 years old, and I fell in love with a Canadian guy. He promised me he would get married and we would start a family and I could move to Canada. That's when it happened. I became pregnant. The baby's father had told me that the baby was not his. We parted and we went our separate ways. At this time, I was still in high school. I ended up quitting school so I could have my son, my oldest, which is now 27 years old. I had him June 6, 1983, and I was almost 19. I raised my son, Robert, on my own. I went through a lot of jobs I did not care for, but it brought in a weekly paycheck. Finally, one day, something inside me clicked and said, "Why are you working jobs that you do not like?" So I promised myself to go back to school and achieve my goals. First, to graduate with my son, Michael Kelly, who is 18 years old. We made it. We are both graduating this year. Second is to major in LPN. My dream came true. I completed my school at Grant Education Center and received my GED March 8, 2010. My teachers, Ms. Roski and Mr. Wilson, were terrific. If it was not for Ms. Roski pushing me and telling me I can do it, I don't think I would be here right now to tell you this story. I would like to tell Ms. Roski, thank you very much for that you have done for me, for helping me to make my dreams come true, and for believing in me. I would also like to thank Ms. Rinke from the AWARE program. If it was not for her, I would not be enrolled in college right now and going for my major in LPN. The AWARE program has been wonderful. I would recommend this program to anyone that wants to achieve their lifelong goal. So I'd like to say one final word, and that is, you can achieve anything you want. Don't ever say you cannot, because you can. I am living proof that you can go back to school. If I can get at age 45, so can you. Thank you. Now I will give you back to the graduating class of 2010.
Thank you, Cheryl. Our second speaker is a gentleman who I have to say brings a smile to the face of anyone who has ever met him, and who I will always personally call Henry, but who actually is Ronald Phillips. Ronald was born in Birmingham, Alabama in 1950. He moved to Port Huron when he was 4 years old. He attended both Port Huron and Port Huron Northern high schools in the 9th grade. Next, he moved to Detroit, where he attended Eastern High School. Ronald dropped out of Eastern High School in 10th grade. Later, he lived in Detroit, New York, and New Jersey before coming back to Port Huron. Ron had always promised his mother that he would finish high school. This was a goal she had set for all of her children. Ron had to overcome a physical challenge by learning to use his left hand. This challenge did not stop Ron from achieving his goals in life, and he became more determined to succeed. Ronald has 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. They have given him 19 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. Ronald plans to attend St. Clair County Community College and study early childhood development and photography. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronald Phillips.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank God Almighty, because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here tonight. When I was younger, 16, my mother passed away, and I dropped out of school, following behind my so-called friends, thinking I was cool and everything. But school wasn't for me. So I just dropped out and got lost in things that weren't right. So I went back to, I came back to Port Huron, and I found this place called Jefferson, and I met Miss Roski there. She's helped me so much. She's helped me tremendously in math, in all classes, but math was the main one. I had 5 classes. I completed all 5 of them. I passed 4 of them the first time I took them. But that math was a stumbling block. I could never, I wasn't, you know, they say never say you hate it. You hate something because it'll put a block right there. You can say you don't like it. Never say you hate it. But I was beginning to hate it. and I just, you know, didn't want to do it, but Ms. Roski just kept pushing me and telling me that I could do it, and Ms. Roberts. And I just dug deep down. I knew it was something inside me. It was my will. And I just knew it was stronger than that math. So I dug deeper and I said, I'm going to finish this. So I said, well, one more time. I took that math 3 times, and they said the 3rd time was a charm. What is 4? Well, anyway, I took it the 4th time, and I passed. And I was saying that all I needed was a 410, but and when I got the notice, it was a 460. And I said, oh, wow. And so I just, you know, I had a speech prepared, but I said I'll just wing it. But I just wanted to say that I want to thank Ms. Roski, Ms. Roberts for pushing me. I like to thank all the staff at Grant. I like to thank Ken McPhail. He was the guard there. And every time I came into the building, he always had a positive word to say to me. And that kept me, because I was gone. I was getting ready to leave. I said, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this math. But I just was determined not to let math overcome me. I was going to make those numbers do what I wanted them to do. And so I just, for those that are not graduating tonight, I would just like to say that you can do anything that you set your mind to do, but you have to do it. And I like to thank Brenda Rinke. She's another one that's a pusher. She won't let you quit, and that's good. I like to thank all the staff in our little, we call it a little clique, because it's about, let me see, Brenda, Karen, Michelle, all of them, they're all the same. I think they team up on people, but it's a good team up. But I would like to just say that never give up. Just like Cheryl said, never give up, because you can do anything you set your mind to do. And I think that's enough. Yeah.
Thank you, Henry, Ronald. And I know that your mom is watching and she's smiling for you tonight.
Thank you, because I forgot to say that. My mother is looking down at me and railing over heaven, saying that's.
This is always the best part. Our next speaker this evening is Miss Amber Provencher. Amber is 32 years old and a mother of 3 children. She was raised in Chesterfield, Michigan by her mother. Amber was very excited to start elementary school. In fact, she was in the local newspaper on the first day of her kindergarten. Even though she liked school, Amber had a hard time with the material. Throughout school, A's and B's rarely showed up on her report card. She dropped out of high school at 16. Amber was keeping a deep-seated secret which affected her school and also her personal life. So Amber turned to drugs to cover up what she was feeling inside. Along the years, Amber attended 4 adult education centers, but dropped out of all of them because of her drug problem. In 2008, when Amber enrolled into Grant, she had a goal of finally finishing school. But in February of that year, she relapsed and dropped out again. In the fall of 2009, Amber enrolled with us once again. Her teachers welcomed her back, and she stuck to going to school and staying clean. Amber has accomplished her goal of being a high school graduate and plans on becoming a college graduate, as well as working with recovering addicts. Ladies and gentlemen, Amber Provencher.
Hi, everyone. I would like to start off by thanking my family, my friends who have supported me no matter what, and also a huge thanks to the staff at Grant for asking me to speak tonight. You have no idea how much of an honor it is for me. I have had many struggles in my life that have caused me not to feel good enough or to be anybody. My drug addiction took me down a dark path, which I really thought there would be no return. I suffered major abuse, and because of my addiction, I neglected my children, and they were taken away by Child Protective Services. I have dropped out of many schools, but I always knew that if I could get off the drugs and graduate, I would have a sense of self-worth. I have tried over and over again, and I have finally succeeded. By the grace of God, I have been clean for 15 months. I have the respect of my family, my friends, and my children back, and now I have a high school diploma. I have had 3 teachers here at Grant, Miss Roberts, Miss Colton, and Mr. Keller. I believe that they were put in my life for a reason, and that reason would be to show me that I am teachable and that I can be somebody. Many days I would want to leave school, and they would say to me something that would just want to make me stay. They have helped me believe in myself. Mr. Keller was a teacher that I had for the last part of the year, and he inspired me daily to do the right thing. I shared my struggles with him, and he didn't look down on me. Instead, he saw a student that was willing to learn and treated me with respect, and I thank him for that. The school has given me my self-confidence back, and you are very amazing. I have to tell you about my boyfriend of 3 years that recently passed away in January. When I started school, he believed in me 100%. He would call me every day at lunch and tell me how proud he was of me and that I could make it. He never once gave up on me. When I would call in sick, he would say, "Amber, how are you going to graduate if you're not there?" I know that Larry is looking down on me saying, "Amber, I knew you could do it, and I'm so proud of you." There's a little poem that I would like to read, and this goes for all the teachers, and even my Aunt Penny, who's in the audience, that is a teacher as well. Some of the greatest servants I know are teachers. They don't get paid much, but so many go the extra mile to encourage a child, to say, you can do it, I know you can. They see beyond the outer shell to what's inside, and they minister to the heart while trying to teach the brain to think. They endure the criticism of parents, administration, and the press and professional critics, and they still serve on. Rarely does a student say, thank you for being such a great teacher. Often we don't think of it until years later when we realize the impact a teacher has made on our lives. And so I thank you, teachers, one and all, for being such faithful servants. And thank you, Ms. Henry, for giving me an opportunity to tell a little bit about myself. Maybe someone will hear my story here tonight and go back to school, no matter what life brings them, and accomplish a goal that could mean so much. This is a stepping stone to a successful future for all of us graduating here tonight. Remember to take life one day at a time, and congratulations to the class of 2010. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amber. I think you're the perfect story of what can happen with strength and persistence and inspiration and a desire to learn. Our final speaker this evening is Ms. Marquita Woodyard. Marquita is 26 years old. She was born and raised in Port Huron, Michigan, to the proud parents of Leonard and Charlene Woodyard. After 3 separate attempts to finish school, Marquita chose to get her high school diploma at Grant Educational Center, starting February 1st, 2010. With only one thing on her mind, she has completed her studies successfully and is here graduating tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Marquita Woodyard.
Hello, good afternoon. Bear with me, I've never done this before. Thank you so much. See here, too. I'm sorry, hold on. Excuse me. Okay, thank you, I'm sorry. Welcome graduating class of 2010, family and friends. My name is Marquita Woodyard, and after completing 2 years at Port Huron High School, I had no intentions going back for my junior year. The fall came and my mother had enrolled me into Port Huron South, and I had made it through the first semester of my senior year. Not being able to tolerate all the middle school age children that attended the school, I had decided to transfer to Jefferson Adult Learning Center. About 2 or 3 weeks before receiving credits to possibly graduate, I made the worst decision in my life. I quit again. It has definitely been a hard 8 years since then, with me thinking that I would be just fine without a completed or extended education. I realized I was wasting the life my parents had given me, and I had seen the light. I was ready to go back to school. I thought of my mom, who had passed away unexpectedly May 26, 2008, and how horribly disappointed she was with me for not finishing school. I thought about my dad mentioning that he did not think that he would ever live long enough to see me graduate. Keeping all of this in mind, I am not only here for myself, but I'm here tonight for them to see that their youngest child can graduate. I plan on attending SE4 in the fall to pursue a nursing degree. I am so glad that I chose Grant Educational Center to help me with receiving my diploma, because without Grant, I wouldn't have discovered my newfound maturity and be here tonight and my dream coming true. I would like to thank the school district for offering this program for people like me, the complete staff at Grant, my family, and my friends for all the support and encouragement that they have given me. For everyone out there that has not finished their education, I would like to tell you that it's never too late. In today's economy, living without an education will never get you anywhere. Take a moment and evaluate your life. Look at where you are and look at where you could be with just a little bit of effort. Thank you again, and congratulations. Graduating class of 2010.
Thank you so much, Marquita. And thanks to all of our speakers again for their honest and inspirational words. Can we have one more applause? At this time in the program, it's my honor to award a scholarship. The scholarship is being awarded by Great Lakes Hair Academy and is valued at $1,000. It will be given this evening to an individual who will be furthering their education in the field of cosmetology. When I call your name, please come forward to accept this gift. On behalf of Great Lakes Hair Academy and Tina Black, its owner, I am proud to present the $1,000 scholarship this evening to Miss Carly Croker. Please come forward. I know this next event is not in your program, but there will be a couple of other awards given out this evening. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Penny Roski and Mr. Paul Wilson, our GED teachers, for the following presentations.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and graduates. This year we established a GED Student Leadership Committee. Our intention was to create a body of student leaders to provide mentoring and tutoring, organize and create funds for group activities, field trips, and establish a community of learners who know they are not alone in their pursuit of their goals. I'd like to take a moment to highlight some of the successes that we've had this year. We participated in the march and raised $165 for the Out of the Darkness walk. We adopted 12 students from Woodrow Wilson School during the holidays. We participated in the jail and bail and raised over $300 for the March of Dimes. We were able to visit the state capitol in Lansing, and for some of our students, it was their first time ever. And we donated food to several families at Thanksgiving and more recently to our troops at war. From feedback I learned from the leadership committee, I found that they liked being part of a team. They liked having leadership roles for the first time ever, and most importantly, they had enjoyed volunteering and giving back to their community. So at this time, I would like to present our president, Robin Martin, with a plaque and a certificate. If he could come up here and receive that. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to present Alicia Sullivan, our vice president, with a plaque and a certificate. The following students will receive a certificate for helping us. Delcia Piazik, Cheryl Carlisle, Eva Parkilla Renee,
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Ronald Phillips, congratulations, Ronald, and Patricia Ojeda. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny and Paul, and congratulations to all of you recognized this evening for all you have done. If you're following your program this evening, this is the time when it's my turn to talk and say a few words. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't know where to begin. So many good things have happened in our building and to our students this school year, and I'd just like to mention a few of them. For the past 3 years, we've had a handprint wall where graduates place their handprint and sign their name on the wall. This idea was given to us 3 years ago by Gina Roberts, who's one of our teachers. And this year, we came very close to running out of room in the space that we had provided for those individuals to put their handprint and sign their name when they graduated with either their GED or high school diploma. And if any of you are interested in seeing that, if you go on the district website, there are pictures that come up every 3 or 4 minutes. Ronald Phillips is on there putting his handprint on the wall, and you can see what we actually do every year for that. If you didn't notice when you came in this evening, there's a quilt hanging in the lobby, so please stop by to look at it before you leave this evening. It will be near where Mrs. Roberts will be handing out the diplomas. This was a creation thought of by our students, and it's a statement saying that they are not the unsuccessful or the unmanageable ones, but instead they are unique individuals who want to be seen as they truly are. Each square represents a student or staff member, and it tells a short story about who each of them are. Please make sure that you stop by and take a look at it as you exit. A couple of our students who came up here to speak this evening have mentioned something that's called AWARE. We've also been very lucky to be part of what has come to be known as the AWARE program. And AWARE stands for Adults Who Are Returning to Education. This is a workforce investment act that was a grant that was written by St. Clair County Community College and includes the college, Michigan Works, and Grant Educational Center as partners assisting students to transition from our program into St. Clair County Community College. In today's economy, so much more is needed than just a high school diploma or GED, and the AWARE program has helped many of our students take that next step that they need to begin additional schooling, to obtain the family-sustaining employment that's so desperately needed in Michigan. A special thanks I'd like to give this evening to Mrs. Brenda Rinke from St. Clair County Community College and Mrs. Debbie Porter from Michigan Works for making this possible for all of our students. And this is going to continue next year as well. We also have two unique graduation situations that have occurred this year that have never occurred before. If you would please hold your applause until the end of my announcement. First, we have a mother and son here tonight that are graduating, and if they would, could Tina Alexander and Scott Jewell please stand? Hold on, hold on. And second, we also have a husband and wife who are graduating as well. And could Pam and Robin Martin please stand also? Congratulations. That's never really happened before, so I had to make note of that. The final item that I want to mention is to all of you out there who have not yet made that first step toward independence and thought about getting your GED or high school diploma if you are without it right now. We will be closing the doors of Grant Educational Center at the end of this July, but it's only to move all of our programs to a new facility. In August, we will be moving into the Harrison Elementary School, and we will begin registering new students at Harrison Center, which will be our new name, on August 23rd. To those of you who are thinking about coming and finishing this step of your education, I'd like to leave you with these words and a special thank you, she doesn't know this, but to Mrs. Lindsay Scheckler, who's our WIA coordinator, for unknowingly supplying this story. 5 years from now, when you are standing in line to get a spot in the homeless shelter, be sure to tell all your friends there waiting with you that when you were in high school, you were cool. You were too cool to go to class, too cool to show up on time, too cool to work hard and do your work, too cool to show your teachers and peers respect, too cool to get good grades or do homework, too cool to dress appropriately, and certainly too cool to graduate. When that guy drives by with his girlfriend in his Lexus that he brought with the money from his high-paying job that he got with his college degree, you be sure to tell everyone who will listen that you were way cooler than he was in high school. And when you try to get a job without an education, or a girlfriend without a car, or a place to live without a job, be sure to let them all know that you could have had all that, but instead you decided to be too cool. Come see us in August at Harrison Center. We can help. Thank you. Okay, it is now my extreme pleasure to begin introducing each graduate so that they may receive their diploma. Handing out diplomas this evening and congratulating each of our recipients will be the board members I introduced earlier, Mr. Stout, Mrs. Damashki, Mrs. Sheets, Mr. Herring, and Mr. Krewall. And so we begin. Patricia Ojeda. Pam Martin. Aaron Lockhart. Leslie Hauschowski. Marie Boone. Amber Starr Orr. Joanne Medrano. Nora Hartman. Trelana Staten Williams. Tracy Osterland. Alicia Sullivan. Stephanie Villarreal. Don Bird. Ronald Phillips. Tanya Stoltz. Trinda McDaniel. Renee Parkilla. Karen Critchert. Laura Daniela Grove. Tiffany Derrick. Melissa Day. Miss Pamela Hayes. Amber Provencher. Laurie Giroux. Samantha Finlayson. Angela Denise Polito. Amanda Marie Springer. Jennifer Marie Briggs. Kimberly Martini. April MacArthur. Cheryl Carlisle. Lorraine M. Culpepper. Christina Renee Holloway. Shannon Lash. Montia Ickner. Bobby Viglin. Tremaine Terrence Cootie. Carly Croker. Brian Williams. Marquita Woodyard. Amanda Marie Ann Thornton. Brandy Clark. Tina Marie Alexander. Trevor Bugner. Timothy David Eckert. Daniel Rattel. Dan Semro. Robin Martin. Tim Parker. Asia Bankston Lewis. Scott Allen Jewell. Jeff Jock. And Brandon Bruce Bowman. Thank you, board members, for the presentation of the diplomas. Okay, if you would just hang on while I make this announcement. Students, please stand. Could you switch your tassels, please? Ladies and gentlemen, you probably already know this, but may I present the 2010 graduates of Grant Educational Center. Please remember that there's punch and cookies out there. Also, mill around, meet each other and talk. And if you could start the recessional, please.